They got a 28% interest rate, even though they had around a 650 credit score.
My Mercedes believes that it knows more about driving than I do.
A $10,000 Kia should be a pretty simple purchase. You buy it, you drive it, and hopefully it starts most mornings. But this one came with a 28% interest rate. Cheap transportation, premium consequences.
We had a situation recently with a customer where they got financed at this dealership. I'm not going to disclose which one it is, but they ended up getting a really, really bad loan. It was a Kia 2018. I don't remember which one it was, but when we checked the Carfax, it was retailing for $10,000 and they sold the car for $15,000. But that isn't the worst part. They got a 28% interest rate, even though they had around a 650 credit score. And because of that, customer ended up paying nearly double. No, I think it was more than double. It was like $37,000.
He actually said even though they have a 650 credit score. Like that's supposed to help the story. A 650 credit score is basically the finance office saying, we can probably get this done, but nobody's leaving here happy. It's not terrible credit. It's just good enough to get approved for something you'll regret by the first payment.
Out the door, and it wasn't disclosed to them. It wasn't disclosed. Very important. The interest rate, and apparently the contract was changed or altered 2 weeks after they bought the vehicle. And it's a real heartbreaking situation because when we explained our terms for our vehicle, because she wants to roll over her loan over to us, we were also explaining her old contract and how it went, and unfortunately she didn't get that explanation from the dealership that she bought it from. Again, I'm not disclosing it, but it is a big corporate dealership, very notorious for these loans, right? So keep that in mind.
The terms changed a few weeks later, so even the deal itself couldn't stay within budget. Most people worry about the car given the problems after they buy it. This customer had to worry about the paperwork doing it first. And when the contract starts giving you issues before the car does, the Kia somehow becomes a reliable part of the story.
But they just gave her abysmal terms. Again, guys, the car was worth $10,000 retail on Carfax, and he ended up buying it for $15,000. In the end, the car ended up being around $37,000 because of the interest and the long rate of the loan, and it wasn't portrayed to her. But anyways, it's so important that you ask questions and you figure out what your terms are and what it is that you're signing, because if you don't, you're gonna get yourself in a situation like that customer. But anyways, I just wanted to quickly make that story, guys. Be careful out there on 4th of July. Have a fun time, but not too much fun. And
the biggest mistake is thinking you are only buying the car. You're not. You're buying the interest rate, you're buying the term. You're buying every fee they packed into the deal. And if you don't understand that before you sign, the car is just the thing they use to sell you the loan.
I'm literally pulled over right now because my heart is pounding because my Mercedes believes that it knows more about driving than I do. And to be safe, for the third time this week, it slammed on my brakes for me, flinging me forward, making this awful noise as it applied the brake when nothing was there. Nothing. This car is the worst car I've ever had in my entire life.
Nothing makes you question a Mercedes purchase faster than the car braking for things only it can see. You already have the payment to worry about. Now the car's adding surprise stops to the ownership experience. That's not exactly the luxury people picture. Usually when a Mercedes makes you nervous, it's because the repair estimate came back.
The worst car I've ever had. Brand new Mercedes. And it legitimately is the worst car to drive, to have. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it stop. But the feeling that you get when you think you have backed into something and your car just stops in the middle of the road because it sensed something. I'm shaking. So at this point, I don't know. I just want them to take it away, and I want to own any. This is my dream car.
That's the problem with dream cars. You spend years building them up in your head. Then you finally get one and it has to compete with the version you imagined. That's already hard enough. But when it becomes the worst car you've ever owned, the best part of the car was wanting it.
My dream car was a Mercedes-Benz, and I got my Mercedes last year. I bought it brand new, outright. So proud of myself. I hate that. It makes driving awful. Just want someone to give me back my old car or any other car that isn't going to traumatize me. If anyone has any advice, let me know. I'm sure this must be a feature I can turn off, but seeing as how I can't plug in my phone and make that work.
That was a fast fall from dream car to any car will do. The Mercedes was supposed to be the upgrade. Now she's asking for advice and talking about her old car like it was the one that got away. It's not exactly how the dream car story is supposed to go. The dream car she wanted for years lasted long enough to make her appreciate the one she already had.
because it never says it's connected. Every time I say, hello, Mercedes, it talks and then says it cannot do the function at all, or it doesn't do it at all. And it says it could self-park. Do you know where it self-parks?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
No, I'm not going to say anything because you won't do it. The only place it'll self-park is in the middle of the road. Yeah, you should try it. So, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I can't help you with that right now.
Don't. I am so over it at this point.
The car interrupting her conversation might be my favorite part. The Mercedes has already done enough. Then the voice assistant decided to get involved. Because if the complaint needed supporting evidence, the car handled that part perfectly. She's trying to explain why the car's driving her crazy, and the Mercedes is sitting there making sure nobody has to take her word for it.
I'm getting rid of my nice truck to drive a 2010 Suburban. My husband bought this truck brand new 6 years ago and was not very smart when he did it. Let's just say there was a lot of negative equity rolled into this truck. We're talking a lot at a very high interest rate. This was before we got together. Anyways, we've been paying a lot of money for this truck and it is worth a lot less than what we owe. So we're kind of at the point of why are we still paying all of this money for this truck? It doesn't work for me. I need a bigger vehicle. That's why I have my old Suburban, but we felt really stuck with it. With that being said, I've made the hard decision to get rid of the truck, pay to get out of the negative equity.
This is what happens when the exit is almost as painful as the purchase. You're already done with the truck emotionally. The truck is already done making sense financially. And the bank still needs one more check because when you're upside down, even the goodbye has a balance.
Which is $10,000. Again, it wasn't me. It was my husband. I didn't buy this truck. So I will now be whipping the old Burb until my credit gets a little bit better so I can buy a different car. And just to clarify, I don't have bad credit. I have young credit age because when I was with my ex-husband, I didn't use anything credit. So I didn't start like building my credit until like the last 3.5 years. So my credit is very young. I wish I could say I'm gonna miss this truck. It's pretty, but it's had a lot of issues. And honestly, I'm sick of paying for it. So here's to being a responsible adult and no car payments until I buy a new one.
They are paying $10,000 to get out of this truck. After that, she's planning to drive the older vehicle while her credit recovers. That sounds reasonable for about half a second. Driving the older vehicle is the smart part. The problem is treating better credit like permission to go right back into another loan. Getting out of the truck helps, but it helps a lot more if the next step is not just wanting to qualify for another payment.
5 reasons why I drive a 20-year-old paid-off car instead of getting a new one. I'm Taylor, and I share the imperfections of my life like how I drive a 2006 Toyota Camry. I was gifted this car over 10 years ago, already paid off, and here's why I keep it instead of buying a new car. Number 1, I don't have a car payment, which allows me to put that money toward investing for retirement and saving for my wedding instead. Number 2, I upgraded my stereo years ago so I can still listen to music and podcasts whenever I want. Number 3, my car is simple. There aren't a ton of gizmos and gadgets. It's a very minimal car, and I like the simplicity of it.
There's something nice about an older car that just does the job. No giant payment, no complicated features trying to impress you. No monthly reminder that you bought more car than you needed. It just starts, drives, and stays out of your bank account. Those are very underrated features.
Number 4, if someone were to accidentally bump into my car and scratch it, I would be a little bummed, but not like I would be if my car was brand new. My car has plenty of paint chips and random scratches that I've just accepted at this point. Number 5, being debt-free is a great feeling. When I paid off my student loans 5 years ago, I learned just how stressful having debt can be. Right now, I would rather be debt-free driving around my grandpa car than in debt driving something else. One day I'll get myself something a little more modern with upgraded safety features, but for now, this car works great.
Driving an old car debt-free is a lot better than sitting in something newer and regretting the payment. It might not be the car you want. It might not be the car that gets noticed. But it's also not sitting in the driveway every month asking you for money. And that is more than a lot of new cars can say. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.